Baguettes, unnecessarily tall buildings in the middle of city centres, and 2024 Olympics. These are things that France are really well known for. But alongside, undeniably, there is one little sparkling region called Champagne that stands out as well. Today we're going to be tasting 6 sparkling wines. 3 of them are going to be from France, 3 of them are going to be from Australia, and it's our job to try and pick apart, find which ones are French, find which ones are Aussie, and hopefully find some bargains for you. It'd be a great result if at the end of this we come away and we go, you know what, French champagne, not worth it. Just buy some $20 Australian sparkling and you're doing the exact same thing. But the only way we're going to figure that out is by tasting, and that's what we're going to do right now. So enjoy.
It's been a little while since I've been down here. Long-time viewers of the channel will know that about 6 months ago, I tried to kill my lovely co-hosts trying to make wine. We've got a fun little bracket of sparkling wines by the looks of things. Australia versus France. 2 places where I've drunk much sparkling wine from. Can I spot the difference? Who knows?
Wine number 1. Nice like coppery, peachy looking thing. Could be like Blanc de Noir.
Quite a pretty color actually. It's very vaguely yellow, very vaguely kind of orange tan color going on.
It smells really fruity, really yummy, really cool. In my head, French sparkling wine doesn't smell fruity. It smells more bready, more yeasty.
Yeah, it's got a real kind of peachy stone fruit thing going on.
Certainly smells like it. Definitely more of that kind of traditional method. On lees, in bottle.
Damn, that's good. Oh, that's really good.
It's a very, very acid driven, very, very mineral forward. Kind of slaps though. This is a very cool thing to be doing at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday.
It's almost cherries, to be honest. I'm into it, I like it.
Acidity's there, lovely kind of crunchy apple flavor. There is that nice little like yeasty brioche flavor going on. I would happily take half a dozen of this. I'll pay $50 for this, but it's a really good Blanc de Noir.
I reckon that's a $90 bottle of sparkling, and I'll have a dozen. I reckon it's French.
Probably $40 a bottle. Maybe have 3 bottles, because why would you have 1 bottle of sparkling wine? Doesn't make sense. Australian, I reckon.
Wine number 2. That is just running relentlessly. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it there, but that is just absolutely sparking up through the middle, which is lovely to see.
Yeah, very salmon. Almost looks like rosé.
Wine number 2 is a pink boy, and that is great news. Rosé champagne is awesome.
One thing I do know is that rosé champagne can be some of the most expensive wine in the world.
Quite on the nose. Nice floral kind of hits, like, you know, kind of grapefruity, but not particularly loud.
But yeah, very, very floral, very bright. Often with a lot of rosé wines, you still occasionally fall for the trap of, oh, it looks pink, it's gonna smell pink. Like, it's gonna have all this lovely fruit flavor going on. And a lot of the time they're not. They're very, very dry and astringent. The color has very little to do with the flavor.
I don't think that's super expensive. I don't know, I reckon this is like Aussie pink bubbles that you get served at a wedding.
Beautiful mousse, beautiful acidity, like lovely ripe fresh apple, like Pink Lady.
Getting 12 of them, don't care, that's awesome.
I'd pay $40 for this, and I'd just grab 3.
I reckon that'll be like $28 a bottle. I'll have 6 of them.
Rosé champagne, rosé sparkling. If it's not your soft spot, grow up.
Wine number 3. It is a white sparkling.
It's a little bit more uniform in its distribution of bubbles. Bubble uniformity, or BU, as we call it in the industry.
It smells much more classic, very, very autolytic, very yeasty.
Oh, it's nutty. This must have spent a decent whack of time on lees.
Nah, I don't like it at all. It's like a very savory, very nutty. I think this is probably gonna be like very expensive. I reckon this is gonna be some vintage champagne.
I know Brendan likes to mention things that autolytic kind of taste like Vegemite or Marmite for the other British people in the room today.
Absolute ripping champagne. Nougat flavors. It's smoky, it's flinty. I'm getting 12. I'm paying $100 comfortably. I'm happy to pay more.
Have 1 bottle of it, and I reckon it'll be $120 a bottle.
I reckon this is a $30 bottle. I'll have 6 of them, you know, calling it Australian, calling it maybe Vermentino, maybe not.
Wine number 4. Ooh, it smells sweet.
Very, very light sparkle again. Ooh, hello.
Definitely leaning towards that kind of like white stone fruit, like green apple, like really floral, really, really like lean and pretty.
It smells like juicy fruit.
This is a peachy wine.
Nothing crazy, just real good, honest sparkling wine. It's really well balanced.
Oh, that's cool. I think it's gonna be Aussie because it's got these quite tropical flavors coming through it, which I really enjoy.
It tastes like a very familiar sparkling shardy. It's a much lower acid wine than the rest that we've had so far. I'm gonna say that's French, but I'm gonna pay an import tax on that, so I reckon it's gonna be $40 a bottle. I want 3 of these.
I'll have a dozen of that wine. I think that'll be $40.
I'll grab 3 and I'd happily pay retail about $40. So I think this is good Aussie gear. Good wine.
Wine number 5. Look at the colour on that boy. Very, very deep.
A lot darker, a lot more gold. A unique color. I don't really drink many sparkling wines that look like this. This could be anything.
It smells sort of like those stores that you go into that sell like incense. It's like pleasant, but it's a bit unnerving. You know what I mean? Like,
That's an interesting nose. That is very big, very, very aromatic.
Yeah, this has definitely spent some time maturing. Some intensity and character to it.
oh, it's yummy though.
That rips. That really, really rips. This, to me, comes across as very high acid, very low perception. Kind of leaning back towards this more savory style, which is again pulling me towards France and more like Methode Traditionelle.
These like funky dragon fruity kind of like rambutan flavors that I think is really fun.
I don't know if it's like skin contact or something. Sometimes I find this with orange wines where they get like a little bit funky and they smell like they're gonna be really weird and really out there. I could hang with this wine. It's yum. 6 of it, French, and I reckon that'll be a $70 bottle of wine.
Gonna say French. I reckon $70 a bottle for that. I reckon that's really, really good. It's not necessarily to my taste.
Yeah, no, I'm going 6. I'm happy to pay $95. Awesome little wine.
Wine number 6, we are back to kind of lemon yellow territory. It's almost a little bit green.
Classic, golden color, looking like good fizz.
Fortified mango-y sort of thing. So is this from the same place as the last one, given that they smell similar?
Now we're talking. This has got some absolute maturation to it. This has definitely spent a lot of time maturing.
This actually smells like brioche. Like, this smells like walking into a French patisserie. There is that little bit of autolytic flavor going on.
That's had the best mouthfeel out of a lot of them.
This is wine in the lineup. This is hella good. Tastes like it smells. It is brioche buns. It is croissant.
My kind of sparkling wine. That is an absolute 12 bagger for sure. $100 comfortably. Oh, you know what? $150.
I'll probably have to have another 6 of them. It's from Australia this time, so it'll be a bit cheaper. I'll pay $60 for it.
I'm gonna say French. I'm gonna say 150, and I'm gonna buy 12.
Yeah, all of these wines are brilliant. Great, great wines. There's definitely uses for all of them.
6 sparkling wines. What a way to start your week.
Alrighty.
6 sparklings, fellas. And we were playing the old French versus Aussie game on this one. What do we think of the lineup? Did we enjoy the wines?
I'm just happy to be here. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, how good to rock up on a Monday morning and drink 6 of, in my opinion, the best sparkling wines I've ever had. So
yeah, there's some rippers in there, honestly. And like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Start off a day with a bunch of sparkling wine.
Yeah.
Off to the races.
Felt like Melbourne
Huge.
Cup Day. It was awesome.
I suppose it's Christmas morning.
How did you feel about the guesses between French and Aussie? Were you confident? No idea?
I'm obviously very unconfident, but I did have answers.
Yeah.
I was kind of going in thinking, I ain't gonna get this at all. I drink spirits, I don't drink wine. But I did notice patterns.
Yeah.
And definitely the pattern seeking bit of my brain was like, I think this is what I think Australian wine tastes like. I think this is French.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where it's like, it felt like, honestly, the quality of sparkling wine that we make here in Australia, like, you could easily be fooled by something and just be like, feel French.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, look,
Which
there's
is
some
cool.
bubbles in there. Enjoy that.
Bang, yes.
Wine number 1.
Yum.
Yeah, I was super into this boy. I ended up wanting a dozen of it. I was thinking French straight out the bat on this.
Yeah, it felt French to me.
Yeah, in my head, French sparkling wine has this sort of like yeasty weight to it almost. I don't know, it's like bready to a certain degree.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's got that yeasty, brioche like intensity. That was my feeling as well. It just reminds me of like Pinot sparkling Blanc de Noir stuff. It's just, give me a half a dozen of that. I'm really happy.
Do you think, Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's fine. Again, caveat, none of these wines are bad by any stretch. Like,
100%.
No.
This one, I was just kind of like, yeah, fine, fair enough. Like, it has a really prominent smell. Like, it's got real fruit forward nose, and then the palate was just a bit kind of okay.
Yeah, how you going?
So you wanted 3 for...
3 for $40.
I know it's not going to be 6 for 50, but I asked for 6 for 50.
Yeah, I wanted-
It's got to be way more.
dozen for 90s. One that is...
Australian.
Oh, mate.
From Orange of all places. Look at that.
Yeah, wow.
And that is $66 a bottle.
Yeah, I think that's definitely great value. This is really good.
Exactly what you were talking about, the Methode Traditionelle from Australia fooling us into thinking that it is Methode Traditionelle.
Traditionelle. Fucking champagne grapes as well, all 3 of them.
Pinot Meunier, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay.
It's orange wine too.
It is orange wine.
Yeah.
It's...
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, good stuff.
I'm now worried about the rest of my guesses. Line number 2. I thought this was definite. I'm really worried about this one actually because rosé champagne can be some of the most expensive wine in the world. Yeah. And I ended up calling it $28 Aussie. I thought this was just like,
I went similar where I was like, I think champagne's going to be great. Tasted it, went, it's not that great.
Yeah.
I was a bit more generous. I went $50, and I went 12 because I did think it slaps.
What do you think it was, Noah?
I called it Australian, and I was just like, Yeah, I was much like you. Yeah, like it's delicious. Happily drink this.
At the bar at a wedding.
100%. If this was
Yeah.
by the glass at a good bar and it was $20 and I paid for that, I'm like, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
At wedding wine, elite stuff.
I'm now very concerned that this is going to be
I'm really quite.
$100 a bottle.
Yeah, this like grower champagne.
French. So I had $28. You had
I had 50 to 12.
45.
45. And it's gonna cost us $38. Thank you very much for coming.
And it is rosé from the Yarra Valley. Thank you
Rosé
very
from the
much.
Yarra Valley.
Ooh, faith is restored.
Dominique Portet. I think pretty well done across the board there, fellas.
Yeah.
You sort of nailed that one.
I'm pretty sure I said for this one, if it's less than 50, I'm going to go and buy a does. So,
Yeah.
different drop.
We could.
We're going to buy a does.
Don't worry, I'll skip the mirror and I got a contact for you. It's
We
all
got-
good.
yeah,
It's all good.
connections
It's all good.
there.
We'll fix
Another
that.
guy.
Now, this next wine, I spent the most money on, and I bought the least bottles of. I didn't particularly like it, but it was one of those ones where I'm like, yeah, I don't get it. It's not going to be expensive.
This was my favourite wine, I
Smells
reckon.
like shit, dude. What are you talking about?
No, I was kind of into it, but it did confuse my system. Like, I went into this with a bit of a plan about how I'm going to tell the countries apart, and then
Yeah.
I called it as like, oh, this smells like Vermentino, but I think it's
Yeah.
French. It reminds me a lot of seafoam, but different. Like, it's the kind of salted lemon thing.
It's got
Like,
this.
really
It's
smoky.
got that solidity to it. It could be like high quality Aussie. Like this is just epic Chardonnay. It's got that pineapple-y, brioche-y, reductive, delicious. Just like it's so good. This is my kind of sparkling wine. I love this shit.
Yeah, I said 6 for 30 originally. I was kind of like, it's a bit natty, it's a bit weird. I'm not that into it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I had one for 120. So I think it's French champagne that I just don't like.
I think it's French champagne that I do like. I'm 12 for 100.
Alright, how much is it going to cost us? $25.
$25?
Noah.
That can't be right. That cannot be right. Yeah, because that's House of Arras. This is like this is like one of the most famous sparkling wine houses in Australia.
I was talking to Brendan about this not very long ago, interestingly enough.
It can't be $25 as well.
Yeah, and this is Grand Vintage. So this is like Edcar Grand Vintage. So this is like the true expression of it. So this is like, I think this is their highest wine. House of Arras Grand Vintage 09 was $125, but this is 15.
Hang on. That looks
Yeah,
like...
no, 125.
It looks like there was a 1 there.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'm not a moron. Like, that says 25 on it, but we're using chalk pens here, and you won't be able to
Put
see
it in the box.
But
It's
there is the
gone.
faintest... You might be able to see it. It's not focusing.
Oh, that's
125. Okay, I'm right on the money. One number 4.
Thor, Peachy Boy, and then again, just very matte palette.
just clean, wispy, easy drinking. Like I'm all about the kind of simplicity here. Like I think this is pretty, but it wasn't something I'm like looking to stack up on.
Yeah, I was like, there's nothing wrong with it. Again, this kind of reminds me of party wine.
Yeah.
This reminds me of very much like, what's the sparkling wine on offer today? Oh, it's this.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is exactly why I bought 12 of them for $40 a bottle. That's exactly the sort of wine I like drinking.
I also wanted to pay $40 for this.
I went 40 as well. Hey.
So
Boom.
is it going to be French?
This I started with French and swapped to Aussie.
That's French.
So
It's cheaper.
It's $36.
Crémant de Bourgogne, so it's below Champagne. So you go Champagne, then down to Chablis, and then you go down to Burgundy. So it's still sparkling Chardonnay and Chardonnay Pinot probably, but just like a way more affordable. And honestly, yeah, for $36, the absolute right price.
Yeah, no one previously. Yeah, $36. Confirmed $36
Yeah,
bottle.
that's really good. That's really
pretty
good. That's my wedding wine. It's good
That's
fun.
perfect wedding wine because it looks way fancier than it is as well.
Yeah, it's French, man. It
Yeah,
must
dude.
be. It must be champagne.
this is
killer
straight away,
fizz.
this is going to be big money.
This reminded me of like grower champagne, where it's like really high quality, like but interesting flavors. It's got this kind of interest that's a little bit kind of outside the norm for me, but I really dug it. I was like into half a dozen for $95. I thought this was pretty sick.
Yeah, I wanted to spend $70 on it and I wanted half a dozen as well. You're absolutely right. Like the tropical fruity thing that's going on there was confusing as heck.
3 bottles.
3 bottles, yeah.
Well, I wasn't enamored. Like
Fair.
It was. I think I said for this one that it was complex and interesting.
Yes.
And so I would absolutely share a bottle with people and say, "Hey, isn't this cool?" But then I'd probably open something else after.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. That's
that's-
exactly right.
that's-
That's
yeah,
exactly
I
a
like
good
that.
analogy.
So you had it as 95, I had it at 70.
I had it at 70.
You had it at 70.
Yeah. Okay.
50.
Oh, great. Oh, this is a great one. I love this one. So this is so this is just a good value little sparkling wine. This is Loire Valley traditional stuff. So Follet Blanche, which is I guess a niche Loire Valley wine. We've only had this Chardonnay and Pinot in there as well. This is pretty natty stuff. Like, so it's again it kind of fits in that grower champagne vibe, like that kind of more playful thing. But it's delicious. So I've always loved that one.
And rounding it out with wine number 6. Hit it out of the park for you.
Smoke show, mate. This was like tied with the House of Arras as like my favorite wine.
$150, 12 bottles. Thank you.
That's exactly what I said too. I was all about it.
Interesting.
That slaps. That is what I think. That's what people think when they think French champagne.
Yeah,
and this is what they
and
mean.
the top of the pops of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. Yeah, it is nice. I just don't think I like that.
Intensity?
No, I don't think I do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's my preference. I think I'm more in the sort of like sillier little partier style.
Yeah, this is up your alley. It's a little bit more playful, a little bit more refreshing, all that kind of thing. Whereas this is intense.
It's cool. It does have that sort of like, there's elements, that intensity, it's like elements of almost a fortified wine. It's like that sort of sultanery or like raisiny flavor.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Really concentrated.
Oh, so good.
I had 6 for $60. You guys both wanted a dozen.
12 for 150. Yeah.
Like, this is going to be big money, and I want lots of it.
Let's see. You got a bargain with your hands. 147. Boys, coming in under budget.
Yes!
Yo, boys.
That is champagne. That's Premier Cru
is
champagne.
champagne.
Yeah, so only from Premier Cru rated vineyards from Larmandier-Bernier, which is one of the great grower champagne producers in the world. Very well respected and just always fucking good.
Blanc de Blanc, that's what I like it.
Yeah, that's it.
There is no bad Blanc de Blanc.
No, I've tried a few, but definitely this rules. Like this has always been one of the go-to. Like I want a fucking really nice bottle of Champers. Larmandier-Bernier is like one of the go-tos.
Yeah.
Super good.
Hi, sorry, the camera messed up, we think. It's quite warm up here this evening, and there's a chance that we lost a little bit of footage at the end. So, just to recap what Nora and I were talking about at the end there. This is one of the lineup, the expensive French champagne. It's $47, but, you know, like, money for a reason. But the other two standouts that we had were this boy here. Fantastic value, French, not champagne, coming from a little bit south of Champagne, a little bit south of Loire. Get down one more, and then all of a sudden you're paying $36 a bottle for stuff that tastes fantastic. And then the Aussie standout, $125 a bottle. I mean, that's imitating that. That does it slightly better because it's the original. Thanks for watching. Sorry that we had to do this on the end, but catch you in the next one.